The construction industry is a cornerstone of national economies worldwide. Its condition plays a crucial role in the development of many industrial and social sectors, which is why substantial amounts of money are allocated to construction projects. In this video, you will get acquainted with the most expensive construction projects set to be completed in 2024. Enjoy watching. LaGuardia Airport, located in the northern part of Queens in New York City, was built in October 1939. For all these years, it remained the smallest and oldest airport in the metropolis. So in 2018, reconstruction work began. Initially, the airport design was to remain traditional, with covered waiting areas, but the specialists working on the project proposed an alternative bold solution, creating two island waiting areas accessible via pedestrian bridges 15 and 19 meters long and 11 meters wide. This idea not only gave LaGuardia a more modern look, but also improved airport efficiency by positioning the new terminal closer to the Grand Central Parkway. Passengers accustomed to the narrow corridors of the old airport will be pleasantly surprised by the updated design of LaGuardia's Terminal B. Now they will find spacious waiting areas with world-class amenities, bright lobbies with high ceilings, and a network of retail shops and restaurants. LaGuardia became the first airport in the world to have two bridges suspended over the aircraft aprons. Its beauty can be admired endlessly, but this beauty came at an incredible cost. The cost of the reconstruction project is $8 billion. In the northwest of Saudi Arabia, in the province of Tabuk, construction has begun on a true city of the future called Neom. Amid the desert, there will be snowy ski slopes in the open air, floating neighborhoods, and a luxurious resort island. The main building of the metropolis will be a giant skyscraper, about 170 kilometers long and over 500 meters high. It sounds simply fantastic. The sponsor of this project is Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. His vision is for Neom to become a state within a state, and once fully completed, it will be able to accommodate 9 million people. Architects from around the world are working on the City of the Future project, bringing the prince's ideas to life. The total area of Neom will be 26.5 thousand square kilometers, comparable to the entire area of Belgium. In addition to the main buildings and resort areas, this metropolis will house the royal family's residence. Neom will also have 4 airports, one of which has already been built. The cost of this project is beyond imagination. Experts believe that expenses will exceed $500 billion, as more than $800 million has already been spent to date. The Olympics are a very important event for the host countries. France has been chosen to host the 2024 Summer Olympics. It is worth noting that this will be the third time the country has hosted the Games. Paris previously hosted the competitions in 1900 and 1924. However, since then, the number of summer sports has increased from 17 to 32, and the number of athletes from 3 to 10,000. France has spent nearly 7 years preparing for the Olympics. The Stade de France, built in 1998 for the FIFA World Cup, was chosen for the closing ceremony. It underwent minor reconstruction. Modifications and repairs were also carried out at the Parc des Princes football stadium, Roland Garros tennis court, and other previously built sports venues. Not only sports facilities are involved in the preparation for the upcoming Summer Games, but also major Parisian landmarks, such as the Eiffel Tower and the Notre-Dame Cathedral, which was damaged in 2019. Additionally, the city is actively beautifying its streets. Initially, the budget for the 2024 Olympic preparations was $3 billion, but this amount has quadrupled. Fortunately, this astronomical sum is expected to not only pay off, but also bring France a profit after the Games. In 2020, the Japanese corporation Toyota announced the construction of a fully autonomous city. It will be located on Honshu Island at the foot of Mount Fuji, 90 kilometers from Tokyo. The total area of the city of the future will be about 71 hectares. The project is called Woven City. This city is envisioned as a living laboratory. Initially, only researchers engaged in testing the integration of artificial intelligence and the latest technologies in an urban environment will live there. According to the corporation's president, Akio Toyoda, the entire city will represent a single system. People, transport, and buildings will interact with each other using artificial intelligence. Every element of the city must be thought out to the smallest detail. According to the project's master plan, Woven City will consist of 3 types of streets: one for fast vehicles, the second for vehicles of various speeds and pedestrians, and the third exclusively for pedestrians. Woven City will be not only smart but also environmentally friendly. All buildings are planned to be made of wood, with solar panels on their roofs. The homes for scientists will be equipped with home robotics and sensors to monitor health and human needs. Only fully autonomous, zero-emission vehicles will be provided for residents to move around the city. The smart city of the future will cost Toyota Corporation $4,680 million. Notre-Dame Cathedral is a world-famous landmark in France. For more than 700 years, this Catholic church has amazed residents and visitors of Paris with its Gothic architecture. But on April 15, 2019, a fire broke out in its attic. It took more than 12 hours to fight the fire. As a result of the incident, the spire suffered the most, with 500 tons of oak wood and 250 tons of lead, which led to the collapse of both its structure and 2/3 of the cathedral's roof. The destruction was catastrophic. The French authorities decided to immediately start restoration work on the landmark. Initially, it was planned to give the cathedral a more modern look by installing additional stained glass windows decorated by contemporary artists and replacing the wooden spire with a crystal one. This idea was not approved, and it was decided to restore Notre-Dame to its pre-fire state. French President Emmanuel Macron promised that the landmark would be restored by 2024, and its grand opening would coincide with the Paris Olympics. However, since the restoration work had to be postponed several times, the cathedral's opening date was moved to the end of the year. Experts estimate that the restoration of the cathedral cost $760 million. In the southeastern United States, in Burke County, Georgia, the Vogtle nuclear power plant is located. The plant was commissioned in 1987 and is named after Alvin Ward Vogtle, the chairman of the board of the Southern Company. In 2006, Southern Company executives decided to construct 2 additional reactors at the plant, with a total capacity of 2.43 gigawatts. After receiving the appropriate license from the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, the company began work on the 2 units in 2009. Initially, it was planned that the reactors would be fully operational by the end of 2022, but for undisclosed reasons, the deadlines were constantly postponed. The plant's owners promised that the additional reactors will be operational by the end of 2024. If this indeed happens, Vogtle will become the largest nuclear power plant in the United States, with a total capacity of about 4.5 gigawatts. Since the completion of the reactor construction was significantly delayed, Southern Company's costs for this project have increased substantially, amounting to more than $34 billion. One of the most expensive and large-scale projects in Mexico is the tourist railway called Tren Maya, which translates to Maya train in Spanish. The project received this name because the government aimed to connect tourist destinations in the Caribbean Sea with less popular places in Mexico, particularly with the area that was once home to the Maya civilization. Construction of the railway began in 2022 and will be completed at the end of 2024. The railway route starts in the city of Palenque, in the state of Chiapas, and runs northeast towards the city of Cancun, in the state of Quintana Roo, along 2 branches around the Yucatan Peninsula. The total length of the railway tracks will be 1,500 kilometers. Tren Maya includes 7 sections connecting 5 states in Mexico: Chiapas, Tabasco, Campeche, Yucatan, and Quintana Roo. All stations will be located in strategically important places. Through this project, the Mexican government aims to increase tourists' interest in the historical lands of the Maya civilization. However, the construction of this railway has sparked many debates. On one hand, it can increase tourist traffic and provide the population with fast transportation access. But on the other hand, an incredible amount of money has been spent on this construction, namely $28 billion. No one knows if this project will pay off and generate profit. Just a few decades ago, the thriving metropolis of Dubai was a small fishing village. This settlement was in a hot desert, and it is unlikely that the locals could have imagined that skyscrapers would someday be built here. Everything changed when oil was discovered in Dubai. After that, the city's construction pace began breaking all records. The most famous structure in Dubai is the Burj Khalifa. Its height is 828 meters, making it the tallest building in the world. Currently, construction in Dubai continues to advance rapidly, and perhaps one of the most interesting and expensive projects is the Ciel Tower. The project for this skyscraper was developed by British architects from the Noor Company, who also participated in the design of the Burj Khalifa. Construction of the Ciel Tower began in 2020 and will soon be completed. Ciel Tower will be a 360-meter building with an unusual shape resembling a rectangular arch with smooth, rounded corners. Inside the skyscraper will be a luxury hotel, boasting 1,000 comfortable and luxurious guest rooms. The roof of the Ciel Tower, offering a magnificent view, will house restaurants, an observation deck, and a swimming pool. The hotel will also be equipped with a yacht marina. It is worth noting that Ciel Tower is vying for the title of one of the tallest hotels in the world, second only to the Abraj Al Bait hotel complex in Mecca, which stands at 601 meters. However, unlike it, Ciel Tower will be open to all visitors, regardless of their religious beliefs. The cost of constructing this building is estimated at $540 million. Eglinton Crosstown is a 19-kilometer light rail line. Its construction began in 2011, and the anticipated opening date is set for the end of 2024. Eglinton Crosstown is a project by the Canadian state company Metrolinx. The light rail line will connect Kennedy and Mount Dennis stations. It will include 25 stations along Eglinton Avenue, 15 of which will be located underground. The tunnels will have an internal diameter of 5.5 meters. The twin tunnels are being constructed in 2 separate sections. Along the tunnels, at least 88,500 segments of precast reinforced concrete will be laid. Each station on the line will be equipped with comfortable waiting areas with televisions, as well as open and covered parking spaces. Once opened, 182 Bombardier Flexity Freedom vehicles will run on the line. Each vehicle can accommodate about 500 people, but capacity can be increased with additional cars. The average speed of the light rail is 28 kilometers per h. The project is expected to save travel time along Eglinton Avenue by 60% compared to using the existing bus service. The cost of constructing Eglinton Crosstown is $9.5 billion. The Santiago Bernabéu is the home stadium of the world-renowned Spanish football team, Real Madrid. This stadium was built in 1947. The Santiago Bernabéu has been renovated several times, and in 2019, work began on the most extensive modification of the arena. The main investors in this project are the American banks JP Morgan and Bank of America. According to the agreement, Real Madrid will pay them $29.5 million annually for 30 years. The amount is substantial, but this renovation is worth the money. The modification of the Santiago Bernabéu was divided into several stages. Initially, it was decided to demolish the shopping center located next to the stadium. In its place, a park and recreation area appeared. Then, the stadium's design itself was also renovated. It now has a more futuristic look and resembles a spaceship. It is now covered with a shell of steel strips and media screens projecting images and illuminating the space. The project's designers also improved the stadium's roof. For this purpose, the height of the arena was increased by 12 meters. The retractable roof will allow spectators to enjoy the beautiful weather with fresh air and provide shelter during rain. The most significant innovation at the Santiago Bernabu is the 6-level retractable field. This solution allows the stadium to be easily converted into a concert hall or an arena for other sports. Thanks to Real Madrid's efforts, the Santiago Bernabeu has transformed into a multifunctional futuristic venue. The cost of this project is estimated at more than $1.5 billion. In 2018, construction began in Melbourne, the capital of the Australian state of Victoria, on 2 9-kilometer railway tunnels with 5 new metro stations. The new transport hub will connect the heavily congested Pakenham and Cranbourne lines with the Sunbury line. This project will change the way people move around the city and improve access to attractions and important business centers. Thanks to the metro tunnel, locals and tourists will be able to significantly reduce travel time in Melbourne. The metro tunnel is a joint project by leading Australian and British architects. All 5 new stations combine functionality, natural lighting, and stylish design. The stations are designed so that passengers can move between metro lines easily and intuitively. Materials such as brick, glass, wood, and bluestone were used in their construction. Each station has rest areas, restaurants, shops, and bicycle parking. The tunnel will be connected to bus lines and the Melbourne Airport Railway. In the future, direct connection through the tunnel to the airport is also planned. To date, the total cost of constructing the metro tunnel is over $8.2 billion. Mumbai is the most populous city in India, with just under 12.5 million people living there. Of course, transport accessibility plays a very important role in the comfortable living of such a large population. In January 2024, the longest sea bridge in the country was opened. Its total length is 21.8 kilometers. It is worth noting that it is the 12th longest sea bridge in the world. The new bridge connects Mumbai with Navi Mumbai. Before the construction of this transport hub, it took local residents at least 2 hours to reach Navi Mumbai. Now this journey takes 20 minutes. The bridge is a 6-lane highway with 2 additional lanes for emergency stops. The permissible speed is 100 kilometers per h, and entry with 2- and 3-wheeled vehicles is strictly prohibited. The bridge currently has a capacity of at least 70,000 people daily. The bridge is equipped with soundproof barriers in some sections. This solution also limits the view of the Baba Atomic Research Center. Additionally, a special bird-watching area is located along the highway. Anyone can relax there, enjoying the sight of flamingos and other birds. The bridge's construction involved about 129,000 tons of steel and more than 830,000 tons of concrete. Moreover, corrosion-resistant materials were used in the construction to ensure the bridge can withstand strong winds and tsunamis. According to the project authors, this structure is capable of withstanding even an earthquake with a magnitude of up to 6.5. The cost of building the bridge was more than $2.2 billion. The idea of creating the largest airport in India emerged as early as 1997. Initially, a specially organized committee was engaged in selecting the site for construction. In 2000, a site 35 kilometers from the city of Mumbai was chosen as a suitable territory. For a long time, the government of India worked on preparing the documents, and only 18 years later was the foundation stone laid at the airport construction site. Even the Prime Minister of the country, Narendra Modi, participated in this ceremony. The designers of the project were inspired by the national flower of the country, the lotus, so the shape of the airport looks very futuristic and attractive. According to the project, the total area of the terminals is 250,000 square meters, and the cargo area is about 100,000 square meters. Various shops, cafes, restaurants, and waiting rooms will operate on the airport premises. It is expected that the airport will be able to serve up to 25 million passengers a year, but it is planned that this figure will increase almost fourfold in the future. The decision to build this airport was made to relieve the Chhatrapati Shivaji International Airport. The authorities understood that this project would cost a lot of money, but the only airport in this region could not cope with such a passenger flow, so it can be considered a necessary decision. The cost of constructing Navi Mumbai Airport was at least $2 billion. In 2020, the Premier of the Australian state of New South Wales, Gladys Berejiklian, announced the construction of a new metro line. The line will run from Sydney's northwest to the southwest, ending at Chatswood Station. Its total length will be 15.5 kilometers and will include 6 stations. The expected train interval is 2 minutes, which will help significantly increase passenger traffic. It is planned that once the new line is operational, its capacity will be at least 40,000 passengers per hour. Sydney is known for its highly developed transport infrastructure. Major roads are integrated into 10 highways, including a 110-kilometer orbital network. The metropolis boasts an extensive public ground transport network. Passenger ferries also operate in Sydney Harbour and along the Parramatta River, which flows into the harbour. The Sydney Metro opened only in 2019. But despite this, it is rapidly developing and aiming to create a convenient transport system that meets all environmental and social standards. Once the new line is operational, the Sydney Metro will include 31 stations and have a total length of 66 kilometers. The cost of constructing the line is $14 billion. The German city of Frankfurt is a hub of commerce, culture, and education, and is considered a very important city in the global economy. It is home to the European Central Bank, the Frankfurt Stock Exchange, and one of the busiest international airports. In 2016, the owners of a large piece of land in the city center, which previously belonged to Deutsche Bank, held a competition for the best architectural project for the development of this area. The competition was won by architects from Yun Studio. Their project included 4 skyscrapers with heights of 233, 179, 128, and 104 meters. All 4 buildings form a single complex that includes office spaces, shops, restaurants, hotels, and apartments. 2 skyscrapers are intended exclusively for offices of large companies, in particular, the global consulting firm the Boston Consulting Group and the American law firm Baker McKenzie. The other 2 high-rises mainly consist of residential spaces with luxurious townhouses on the upper floors, covering up to 1,000 square meters. Of course, only very wealthy people can afford such housing, as the cost of these townhouses is about $20 million. Construction of the complex began at the end of 2017. After 4 years, the first building was fully operational. Today, the construction work is nearing completion. The exact cost of this complex is not disclosed, but experts estimate it at $1,180 million. The South Korean conglomerate Samsung Group is one of the largest financial and industrial groups in the world. The most well-known company in the group, Samsung Electronics, produces gadgets, household appliances, and integrated circuits. In 2020, its vice president, Ki-nam Kim, shared news about the construction of a chip manufacturing plant in Texas. Construction of the industrial facility began in early 2022, with its commissioning scheduled for the second half of 2024. The Texas city of Taylor was chosen as the site for the plant. Initially, locations in Arizona and Florida were also considered, but Texas was selected due to lower local taxes, stable power sources, and the proximity of another Samsung manufacturing facility in Austin, 25 kilometers from Taylor. The future plant is expected to become a key manufacturing center for Samsung, as the company is striving to achieve undisputed leadership in chip manufacturing. Samsung's only competitor in this field is the Taiwanese company TSMC. Chips for various devices at this plant will be manufactured using the latest technologies. The total area of the facility will be over 5 square kilometers. The cost of building the plant and purchasing equipment is estimated at $25 billion. In 2018, construction began on the Gordie Howe International Bridge, connecting the USA and Canada. It is named after the professional Canadian hockey player. This project will help improve transportation links between the two countries, provide additional jobs for the population, and create new opportunities for economic growth in the cross-border agglomeration of Detroit and Windsor. According to the project plan, the Gordie Howe will be a cable-stayed bridge with a total length of 2.5 kilometers and a central span of 853 meters without supports in the riverbed. Two A-shaped bridge towers, 220 meters high, are built on opposite banks of the Detroit River. The roadway itself will be supported by 216 cable stays. The height of the Gordie Howe above the river will be 46 meters. The bridge will have 6 traffic lanes and pathways for cyclists and pedestrians. The Gordie Howe will connect with Interstate 75 in Detroit on the US side and with Highway 401 in Ontario on the Canadian side. Initially, the project's cost was estimated at $4.3 billion, but it has now increased to $6.4 billion, and the scheduled opening date has been postponed. The Gordie Howe is expected to be operational in 2025. Saudi Arabia is successfully developing not only in the energy and real estate sectors, but also in the entertainment sector. As part of the Saudi Vision project, with the support of the Public Investment Fund, the construction of the promising resort city of Qiddiya began in 2019. The city is expected to be completed by 2030. The entire mega-project is divided into several construction phases, the first of which includes the creation of a unique entertainment center called Six Flags Qiddiya. The park will consist of 6 themed zones, namely water and land attractions, a high-speed motor park, exhibition halls, shops, a driving club, and a luxury hotel. The total area of the site will be at least 334 square kilometers. By the way, the amusement park will feature the world's tallest, fastest, and longest roller coaster, as well as the world's highest freefall tower. According to the project's creators, Qiddiya will become a futuristic city where you can find absolutely everything. A racetrack has already been built in the city, and the construction of the amusement park is nearing completion. The center of Qiddiya will feature numerous sports facilities, including a 20,000-seat stadium, an 18,000-seat multifunctional indoor arena, a water sports center, and an additional sports center for various competitions. Art lovers can visit a 2,000-seat theater or a large cinema with multiple halls. Listing all the planned buildings in Qiddiya would take a long time, as there are incredibly many of them. This city will definitely not be boring for either tourists or locals. The budget for the entire project is difficult to imagine, as the cost of just the first phase of construction was $8 billion. Incheon Airport is located 70 kilometers from Seoul, the capital of South Korea. It was built in 2001 to address the congestion problem at Gimpo International Airport. Incheon has been recognized several times as the best airport in the world, as the country's authorities ensure that this facility remains modern, comfortable, and safe. In 2017, work began on modernizing Incheon. The goal of the project was to increase passenger traffic. To achieve this, it was necessary to expand and renovate the second terminal. As of 2019, Incheon ranked 5th in the world for the number of international passengers and 2nd for international cargo. After the renovation, the airport will be able to serve more than 100 million passengers a year. This will elevate Incheon to the 3rd position in the ranking of the busiest airports, behind only Dubai and Istanbul international airports. In addition to the expanded terminal, a new additional runway with a total length of 3.7 kilometers will be operational at Incheon. The project to modernize the Korean International Airport will be completed by the end of this year. Passengers will enjoy comfortable waiting areas, a huge parking lot, restaurants, and shops. Most importantly, Incheon will boast a modern security system using artificial intelligence. The cost of the international airport renovation was $2.2 billion. Saudi Arabia ranks among the 15 richest countries in the world in terms of GDP per capita. In recent years, the authorities of this country have been paying special attention to the construction of modern architectural objects, the cost of which is measured in incredible amounts of money. One of the most expensive projects in Saudi Arabia is the Red Sea Project. The Red Sea Project will be a developed resort complex. The chosen location for its construction is in the west of Saudi Arabia, in the Tabuk province. The resort will cover 180 kilometers of the Red Sea coastline, as well as some of the desert islands located in the area of the towns of Al-Waj and Luj. Since this region consistently maintains high air and water temperatures, the resort will be able to receive tourists year-round. Construction of the project began in 2018. Once the resort starts operating, its visitors will enjoy scenic beaches with views of mountains, canyons, and volcanic craters, warm seas, luxurious hotels, restaurants with excellent cuisine for every taste, and a developed infrastructure for diving. Of course, the Red Sea Project seems like a true paradise, especially considering its construction cost, which is simply staggering, $30 billion. And that's all from me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your engagement is the best reward for me. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Goodbye.